hair is just not having it today. Not having it. My room is so messy. And I have fucking... the fuck? I have packets of Parmesan cheese from Pizza Hut in my pocket. Okay. So I made a list of what I think are all the different types of car people. But I did this so I don't get off on a tangent and go start talking about something else and completely forget what I was talking about in the first place, like I tend to do almost every video. Okay, these are just some different categories that I would separate people into. Now, I have a bunch of different types of people on here, but a lot of people fall under multiple categories. Number 1. This is the guy who is into only one type of car, or possibly one nationality of car, let's say. They tend not to care for any other kind of car but the car that's in their own little pod. Or sometimes you can get even more specific and say, let's have a guy who has a Camaro. He will only be into Camaros. I'm not saying about all Camaro owners, but that happens very, very often with American muscle car guys. I think a lot of Volkswagen owners do this too. They respect all Volkswagens, but pretty much exclude anyone else outside of their little group. Sometimes they'll be like, oh, it's an Audi, it's okay, but I think a lot of Volkswagen owners are pretty self-centered. Just not me. Also, Honda guys. I'm not saying all Honda guys, but a lot of you Honda guys who decide to slap a fat muffler on your lowered Honda Civic and you think that that's just the coolest shit in the world, and you drive around, you hate on every other car except for slammed, mufflered Honda Civics. Number 2. This is the guy that can respect most kinds of car work, but prefers his own type of car. Now, I like to put myself into this category. As much as I love my car, and it is the car for me, I respect so many other different kinds of cars. And I'm not being exclusive to Audis or German cars, but I do have a lot of respect for people who are really into American cars, or Japanese cars, or even Korean cars sometimes. Okay, I test drove the new Genesis. I gotta say, I really do like that car. But anyway, if you know what you're doing, and you're not just slamming it and throwing an exhaust on it, then I can most likely respect you. Okay, the third type of guy is the guy who will only care for the expensive cars. Oh, the exotics, the Ferraris, Lamborghinis, McLarens. You don't really have to be like a car person to be into those kind of cars. You just have to have a lot of money. Alright, fourth kind of car guy. This guy loves cars. He loves working on engines, working on bodies. He loves all different kinds of cars, bone stock. If a car is in shit shape, he will bring it back to life in its original form. Sometimes these could be classic car guys, sometimes they could be guys who just like cars from the 80s. They could be even like new car guys, but they just like them bone stock. Like this Genesis that I test drove. It was pretty cool. It was manual, it was pretty fast. It was the turbo one, not the V6 one. And it had a boost gauge on it too. Like, that's pretty boss. You gotta at least know something about cars to have a boost gauge stock in your car. But they're not gonna do any sort of modification. They still know something because they bought that car. They bought it with the Brembo brakes, they bought it with the turbo and the spooling sound and a loud exhaust. These can also be supercar guys too. Obviously supercar guys don't necessarily have to be into cars, but a lot of times they are, but they're not going to do anything to those cars. They're already perfect. Next is the guy I dislike the most. This is the chassis guy. The guy who buys headlights, taillights, rims, lowers his car, body kit, fake hood scoop, spoiler, window tint, all this shit. He may even go as far as getting racing seats and harnesses like an asshole. God knows he has never ever opened the hood of his car and changed his oil. And I'm not trying to bash on Honda Civics. If you have one and you've done it right, kudos to you. But many times the Honda Civic guys don't know how to do it, and they put all this shit on their car and make it look like it's something. People who don't know anything, they drive by and they go, oh, that's a car guy. That is not a fucking car guy. That is a chassis douche. The guy who only cares about looks. He probably spiked his hair and frosted his tips 10 years ago too. And then there's the absolute opposite side of this. There's the guy who is all motor, no show. These are the guys who care so much about the motor, the body is really not that important. As of over the summer, I consider myself one of those types of people. I am all motor and speed rather than appearance. A perfect example of this are Skyline guys. I'm not saying that Skylines are ugly. I am really attracted to them, but that's because I know something about something and I know what that car can handle. But to the average person, it kind of looks like an average boring car. Here is an R32 Skyline. It's not the sexiest looking car in the world. I mean, bone stock, you could confuse it for a Corolla. But then you see that back and you're like, damn. Please do not take that offensively. I absolutely love this car. I would do anything to get this car. But you get what I mean, right? This guy who bought this car is all about the motor, not about the actual looks. Okay, now the last guy that I put on my list is the classics car guy. Now, I'm sure there are a bunch of other kind of car guys that I'm missing right now, but my brain is all up in the clouds right now, and this is all I can think of. The classics car guy can be strictly into one type of car, or he can be into all kinds of cars, or he can be cars from a certain decade, or he could be a European classics car guy. 99% of the time, these guys are into looks. Most of the time, they try to put them back to stock, back to their original form, because that's what looks best on those kind of cars. They make their engines totally spotless and beautiful and upgraded everything, and they probably run really, really well, and you know, some people do it totally ridiculously where their cars are completely fast, but it's still a classic car. It's still gonna have super shiny paint, a shiny grille, and leather seats. But anyway guys, that's it for me today. If you can put anyone into any sort of category, what kind of category would you put them into? These are just sort of the types of car people that I noticed and can think of right now. But other than that, let me know if you think of anything different. Snaps for Sydney for making a video. I'll see you guys next week. The fuck was that? I don't know what I'm doing anymore.